Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. My name is Vít, and I'm the director of European Governance Program, the master program we are offering together with the Utrecht University in the Netherlands. And I would like to tell you something about this program and perhaps raise your interest in the unique possibility to study not only in two interesting and nice European cities, but to increase the interdisciplinary approach and interdisciplinary treatment of the current European issues, European politics, economics, and European law. Why the program we are offering might be interesting for you. Which are the basic features of the program to make it attractive for the prospective students. First of all, I would like to stress that we are trying to train so-called academic professionals in our program, which means that we are combining the excellent level of academic skills, including methods, theories, and other stuff that's important for the scientific treatment of the recent European politics and European governance. But in the same time, we would like to train the alumni who will cope very well with the real problems of the real political life. This combination of academic excellence and high professionality focus on more practical problems of contemporary Europe. This is something you might lack in some other programs that are dealing with European integration. It means that, for example, in the courses you can attend during the program duration, you will learn not only about theories or about some general issues, general facts, but you will systematically apply your knowledge to current and hot issues, exciting problems of the European Union and the member states. This is one important thing to be said about the unique features, unique character of our European governance program. And the second very important motive for you who might be interested in this is the interdisciplinary nature of our program. Well, of course, we cannot deny that we are focusing on the European Union and all the dimensions of European politics, which means the member states, regional governance, or even local affairs. But in the same time, we are aware of the fact that politics has to be understood as a part of broader themes that are creating the modern governance, and it means primarily economy and law. So therefore, vast majority of the courses offered in the program, both at the Masaryk University and at the Utrecht University, they are really trying and they are really succeeding in putting together these three perspectives of three very important, very vital disciplines, very vital fields: politics, economy, and law. So this interdisciplinary program and interdisciplinary nature of the program allows students to delve into politics, economics, and legal dimension of the European integration in more narrow sense, and European politics in broader sense. Well, on the other hand, we have to admit as well that this is not the only track. European governance program is complex. You can start this program either in Brno at the Masaryk University, or you can start in Dublin at the University College of Dublin, or in Germany at the Constance University. I would like to stress that for the Masaryk University track, all the students are spending the second year of the studies in Utrecht together, but for the Masaryk University track, it is typical that we are a bit more focusing on political dimension of the European integration and European politics. And this leads me to the third specific feature of the program. You are simply not only learning about Europe, but you are living Europe. Imagine that you will stay 1 year in Brno at the Masaryk University in something we might call Central Eastern Europe. Then you will change your perspective, commuting to Utrecht, to the very Western European prestigious Dutch university. And then in the last semester, you have opportunity to visit other part of Europe too, because the last semester is devoted to combination of an internship and writing of the thesis of the master dissertation. So you can actually combine 3 places in Europe to experience what it means practically to be dealing with the European politics and European integration. All this not only brings a very fresh and very exciting perspective for the students, it means as well that the alumni of the program are typically very well employed. They are typically getting employment very soon after graduating, last but not least, because they already have an internship, typically by some local governmental or the EU institution. And if we look at the people who graduated from the program, and if we look at their careers, we are seeing people working for the EU institutions, for the governments, for the regional local institutions. We do have as well the PhD students, so it means that the academic track of the program can be employed for further research-oriented occupation. We have the people who are working for the private companies, etc., etc. So from this point of view, we are really successful in placing graduates from the program on the places that are dealing with European integration and with European politics. Why you shall consider this program too is the fact that we are typically teaching the students in small classes, which allows us to give very intensive feedback to their job. If you will select the Masaryk University track, you will get an excellent opportunity to learn on the European integration with very strong Central Eastern European touch, very strong Central Eastern European emphasis. So it again can increase your value on the labor market, because still in the European institution there is clear lack of people who can comprehend clearly the post-communist or Central Eastern European perspective. And last but not least, Brno is not only about the teaching. Brno is, of course, a kind of crossroad within the more narrow region of Central Europe. You can quite comfortably, quite easily reach the nice cities like Budapest, Vienna, Krakow, or Prague. They are 2, 3, 4 hours by train away from Brno. You can plan in the winter season, for example, some skiing weekends either in the Czech Republic or in Austria or in Slovakia. So that's another added value of selecting European governance from the perspective of the Masaryk University. Not to mention the same quality of teaching for slightly lower prices compared to Dublin, and living costs definitely lower compared to Constance. So if you will opt for the European governance program, then you will, at the end of the program, you will graduate with very solid academic skills, excellent analytical skills, practical and policy-oriented approach, which is a vital part of the entire program. You will have an internship, which will bring a relevant point to your professional curriculum vitae, and you will have a thesis that are based on your internship. So you will not only get the practical experience, but you will be able to turn it into some analytical or research paper. Last but not least, and this is something I can confirm because we are maintaining very dense and very intensive contacts with both the current students and the graduates from the program. This program works like a perfect network for social contacts. It's not an exception that the former graduates from the program are helping the current students with finding internships, with finding the workplaces after graduation from the program. So even from this point of view, it's a very small but very intensive Europe backed by the European governance studies. Ladies and gentlemen, that's basically what I wanted to share with you as a kickoff, and I am really waiting for your questions. Well, here we have the first question. Do I need to have studied politics or international relations in my bachelor? Well, not actually. As I stressed, we are an interdisciplinary program, which means that we are more than welcoming the graduates from the pregraduate programs in law, in economics, in some combinations, in governance. But we, for example, have a very successful students with the bachelor from history. I remember one very nice and very clever Dutch lady who completed the bachelor in engineering. And then she realized that she's much more interested in organization and planning of what she studied during her bachelor studies. And she ended up at our program, and she was excellent student with excellent study results. So we are quite open. Well, of course, politics or international relations or some basic bachelor from European studies is helpful, but it's absolutely not necessary. We do have another question. I noticed on the website that there are two different tuitions. Why is that? Well, this is a bit more complex program because since the program is run by 4 universities, each university has its own policy concerning the tuition fees. There is only one tuition fee for anybody that we collect at the Masaryk University, but the tuition fee differs during the second year because the second year is spent inevitably at the Utrecht University, and they have the policy differentiating between the European Union citizens, or better to say, those people who have citizenship from the countries of European Union, Switzerland, and European Economic Area. And these people are expected to pay in the coming year, the academic season 2021, 2,168 euros per a year. But if you are not a citizen from the European Union or European Economic Area country, then you will have to pay much more, because for the non-EU citizens, the tuition fee for a year in Utrecht is 17,280 euros. It's dramatic difference. There is nothing we can do with this. It's an unfortunate news for most of the people who would be interested in the program and who would like to apply from the countries outside Europe. But we already have some alumni who got some funding, some stipends. We do have, for example, alumni from Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have some Australian graduates from the program. So it works, but it's a bit more complicated. But it's not a policy of the Masaryk University. At the Masaryk University, and this applies to all the programs, you will pay the same regardless whether you are an EU citizen or not. Well, and yeah, that's an obvious follow-up of the previous question. Well, if it's like this, if there are differences, if it's a program that focused on the European politics and European governance, does this degree make sense if anybody wants to live outside of Europe? Well, of course it does, because it's not theorizing. As I said, we do have already the alumni from the United States of America, from Australia, simply people who are not probably getting to spend their professional life in Europe. But even for these people, it might be very rewarding, because the European Union is one of the global leaders in terms of economy and in some way in terms of international relations, international politics as well. So if you study this program and then you return to your home country outside Europe, you will be an excellent expert on the EU issues, And it's, again, I'm not theorizing. We do have, for example, one graduate very well placed at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Australia, person who completed, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe, no, not 4 years ago, the European governance program, and now she works as an expert on the European integration for the Australian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So definitely there is a niche on the market, so to say, qualification in European governance, and especially when it covers not only politics, but economy and legal issues, which are crucial for understanding of European integration today. Well, such a combination makes you a very sought after at the international labor market, let's say. Maybe I can add up a sentence or two on the profile of our graduates. They are not only making splendid careers, but they are really typically employed in the field they studied. So we do have a very nice and very clear record showing that our qualification is really a qualifier for the positions in diplomacy, in international politics, in global business. So I am not only theorizing about practical aspect and practical impact of the European governance program. I am actually proud to prove that it works in this way.